bolt does a ton of damage. You see it snipe people all the time, but it's very tricky to land onto a champion as mobile as Jace as well as EDG. Oh, he hits it!
Oh! Accelerate shock blast into the snowball, and this time it's final. ZDZ with one of the clear 1v1s we've seen in the split.
Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights of today's LPL 2025 Split 1.
Reliable into the phase of the game where we think Thunder Talk is most prevalent. Here, the lanes are a pretty neutral sets, but instead is looking to move up here and contest. We might have a first fight coming near these grubs, especially if this Braum passive stacks. Wink gonna land one auto short. Both junglers are present, looking for a fight. Vault Breaker being channeled here. Beishwan gonna go right in onto Xiaohao, gets the brittle stack stun. But both of these teams are just proxying each other, daring the other one to overstep here. And now it's finally Thunder Talk. Feel the advantage prevalent with Setab here. That was a heal used by Wink just to protect Xiaohao, and it's Thunder Talk that will grab control of the top river.
Yeah, they've got all 5 members around. EDG, though, they can collapse 5, and their champions are not the weakest during the early game. It just depends on if you want to step up here.
Oh, good charm from Zetab's going to get the cleanse out of Assume, but he has to use his Spirit Rush to jump on out of here. And now all of EDG are here. Thunder Talk are trapped in the pit. There's a great Hoya ultimate on the Poppy to send one out, but it costs him all of his mana and nearly all of his health bar, as it's Zetab having to flash away from one of the little mites. And first blood goes over to Assume off a great pick from ZDZ. Nobody gets a Monster Slayer stack. And it's Edward Snowball that early power. Hawkshot is going to spot Xiaohao on this dragon, but they don't have lane prio in mid or bottom currently. Waves crashing into those turrets, so there can't really be a contest from Thunder Talk besides Feather watching the first Infernal Drake pass away. And EDG are now a bit close. Cost assume too much, but that key summoner, like you called out there, blocks her. Feather and Base looking for a fight, though. They get a great stun chain, and Wink is just gone in an instant. Good stun stack with the cease and desist. Beishwan's able to get out with a kill traded. We're even in that count now between our two squads. That legendary item done as the next set of Void Grubs spawn, and Beishwan's looking for virtually the same sort of fight. Forces the Trickster out of Xiaohao, and this is feeling like deja vu here because Thunder Talk, they're starting the Grubs again, and they're on the ward once more. And they're going to get collapsed again. There's a Weaver's Wall available. Xiaohao does have the Cyclone. Cease and Desist is still a couple seconds away. This is a real big gamble from Thunder Talk, and they are nowhere near done with these Grubs just yet. The second one's soon to fall. Here's the Weaver's Wall down, coming across for Angel. Going to trap some in. 1xN on the wrong side of the wall, but it felt a bit early as it does dissipate. Flash still has the arrow land. Flash Glacial Vision is going to follow. They're trying to go hard in the paint for Angel, but they're not going to get there. Cease and Desist flies through Beishwan. He's got Xiaohao in his sights, and he's going to find the first kill to set up the rest of the squad. In goes the all-out from ZDZ, trying to find these trade kills, but he can't get to Feather, and he doesn't have the same resistances. That Casante's not tanky enough, and Thunder Talk instead. EDG are going to teleport Angel up here top lane to dive a Poppy. Not the easiest champion to dive. Let's see how this one executes. As ZDZ is going to grab the turret aggro. Hoya gets stunned up by the Slipping Stone. Cyclone not going to find the knock-up first. The second bout will enough
that you're able to then pick yourself up. That first tower doesn't end up happening. You lose the Drake as well. That final Void Grub does go over to EDG. And it is going to be 2 to 4 in terms of Grubs. A Drake
alone. Wanted to maybe go for that old play, but the rest of EDG all show up across the line. 5 stacking this top river. They want this Rift Herald in their sights. The Thunder Talk are trying to pull them apart here. Hoya teleporting in. Stun gonna land on ZDZ. He's not too tanky just yet. He's getting his health bar chunked, but he uses the all-out to pull Beishwan under his tier 1 turret, and now the fight has commenced. Feather gonna fall first. Setab trying to go into the backline, but Angel and Assume stay safe, and they trade out Hoya, and ZDZ will not fall. Even a flash forward from 1xN will not grant him the gray screen. What a hero play from Edward Gaming's top laner. They grab 3-4 kills.
Under your tower right there just completely breaks the teamfight lines that Thunder Talk were trying to draw for themselves. They need these clear front to back so that they can launch themselves in when they think the time is right. Fizzle out just a little bit. Straight on over to the Drake though, and this would be EDG managing to complete those feats of strength.
Setab committed to getting that top lane tier 1 first. Can't teleport in. 1xN thrown on the wrong side of the Weaver's Wall. He's got all of EDG in front of him, and they're going to pile on the CC. 2 Cyclone knockups is enough to get 1xN, and now the ball, all holds are off, and EDG are flying forward with grace. What a Weaver's Wall from Angel. Another setup for Edward Gaming that results in a victorious fight.
Gorgeous, gorgeous fight right there. You pick up a tier 1 mid lane and this dragon to boot. Brilliant, brilliant fighting right there out of EDG. And that was the Weaver's Wall that we were hoping for. That initial play that we saw up around those grubs wasn't the best use of the Weaver's Wall, but this is exactly what we needed. Setab also going to get jumped right here. Does still have the ulti to be able to survive, but having to use that once again defensively. It hasn't felt like Setab's really been able to use that. Thundertalk have put themselves... Hang on.
Great clone. No Ash Arrow comes through. Beishuan hits the Trickster. Wink's going to go back in. Does use the quickness into a beautiful seismic shove. Another awesome chain of abilities between Edward Gaming. Going to force Beishuan out. Teleport coming through here for Hoya. He's coming into all of EDG here. They're going to see if they can stun him up. Hoya's going to use Steadfast Presence to dash away. Beishuan goes back in, but his health bar is far too low. Keeper's Verse going to knock one out, but Hoya flies into the mincemeat that is Edward Gaming. They just turn it right on its head. Setab can't find an angle in it until he's lost all of his teammates. And look at CDZ run the backline by himself. What has gone into Edward Gaming? Ace at 21 minutes in game 1.
Thundertalk right now. They've got themselves a push going through the mid lane and the top. The lane is not anywhere to be seen, but still, they can just step up, and it doesn't matter. You've got that free, quicker recall, if anything. If you do end up getting taken down, 5 members strong right now up towards the top side of the map.
Whoa,
nice
and
engage.
in goes Xiaohao, feeling so confident, running in, Wink behind him. He's going to get big grand entrance knockup, but they have to be careful. They're going under Nexus turrets. 1xN able to turn and start free firing with that lethal tempo, but his tanks are dropping to the rest of the might of EDG. You called it, Bloxer. Edward Gaming are using Voracious Atakan to take not just an entrance to the base, but an inhibitor, and maybe even more here as they're really sticking around. They don't have the wave for the Nexus turrets, and Voracious Atakan might not last much longer. EDG trying to escape to get a safe reset, but Beishuan is on the hunt. Spotted out on a ward, though, by Assume, who will force him back. And that should be...
is in a much stronger spot, and with a champion that finds it a lot easier to teamfight. EDG, they drafted themselves a comp that worked well into what Thundertalk usually like to do for themselves, and it so far has been working out to great effect.
And now they can just take the free buffs they can get across the rift here. Second Mountain Drake, sure. What can Thundertalk really do to contest? Baron spawning? Sure, why not? We get vision set up and start. See Beishuan going for it, but the pings allude to the fact that he has once again been spotted out. Has himself a 1v1 with Wink, but 1xN is getting dove by Angel and Xiaohao, able to flash away from the Wukong. Really expert kiting here from 1xN to try and turn this for Thundertalk, but all they end up getting is a couple key ultimates out of the much stronger Edward Gaming.
And they're now going to have to just head back, try to get a little bit more health back. And like you said, with those super minions pouring in through the top side, going to have to be very careful. It's going to be the Baron started up right here for EDG. Now, they've thrown games in this position before.
Yeah, and they don't have any ultimates to really fight, and Beishuan knows it. Angel going to flash away with the Seraph Shield, should be safe for now. Setab gets a big charm onto Assume, who has to use his cleanse, but he's still safe. The damage isn't enough there for Thundertalk just yet until Setab dashes mid-stasis to find the pick onto Assume, kites himself back out expertly, and here comes the lightning after the thunder. 1xN free firing up his ass, knocks down Xiaohao. Next is CDZ, he sure is tanking, but can he 1v5? The health bars are low, but not low enough. Thundertalk find an inch, make it a mile. 4 kills and a turn to Baron to break open game 1.
They are gonna lose themselves a Nexus turret for this potentially though. And low health bars on taking this Baron. Still though, we called it. EDG, they find these team fights so tricky to do. And once again, out of a zoom, Xiaohao on this game.
It's gonna once again though nerf that damage profile. As 1xN really needs that Infinity Edge as we have a Chains of Corruption Cyclone Mastery. Throws both Beishuan and Feather up in the air under an enemy turret. There's nothing they can do but fall to the gray screen. Setab, 1xN, and Hoya now have to run for the hills and make sure they get themselves out because it could cost them the game.
And a Wukong, you compare that engage so nicely. You've also got that Varus ulti as well, of course, to be able to kick things off much at the moment, but that is going to be a big buff for EDG.
Beishuan, very aggressive Hullbreaker. Assumes damage is so high. Same-Time going to commit the flash. Here they find Angel in the thickets, and Hoya's on a massive flank here. Has the Keeper's Verdict if he could use it to give them even more of a man advantage, but Hoya's health bar is fastly depleting. Has to flash himself out, and Same-Time gets caught by Wink. An awesome charm. Taste your own medicine for the Ahri. Beishwan goes in with the cease and desist, though. It's on to Assume. Once again, Thunder and Talk are finding the picks onto the damage dealers, but they're losing their own as Xiaohao flies in the background with the Cyclone. His health, his sustain is far too much to bear. And where's the damage through for Thunder Talk? It's Beishwan and Hoya. Time and time again, Thunder Talk fight their way out of misery for an ace once more.
Wink to go jumping in, you just die. Exactly the same thing for Beishwan. And despite all of this initial setup, you can spot it out so easily with those hawk shots. Thunder Talk, what can they do?
Arrow gonna land on his ZDZ, buffers it perfectly with the W. Believe he actually got saved by Wink there, so no stun comes across. One key ultimate is down. Xiaohao, not the healthiest, but looking for a way in here. He's gonna go on to Beishwan. Does have to quit the flash, but gets knocked up by the Cyclone. The Weaver's Wall keeps him in turret range. Beishwan is sectioned off from his team and cut down. EDG now with no jungler on the enemy team should have a free shot at Baron. There's nothing Thunder Talk can do.
No, it's just a mistake right here. You could see fully charged up Vault Breaker on Beishwan. Could have stepped away, could have tried to get over that wall, but just decided to stick around for a little bit longer, wanted to go in, wanted to get that fight off with the rest of the team, but unfortunately isn't able to do so in EDG.
3v4, now going to be a 5v3. Same-Time is committed to this flank. His old Greybeard Elder spawns onto the Rift. Beishwan is back up, making his way back down, but EDG have taken complete control of this bottom river, and Same-Time is still so committed. When will he step out? Steps out at just the inopportune time. Xiaohao has the flank spotted, and that means they have the green light to go back in on the front side of the fight. Hoya has to burn that flash. Thunder Talk now have control of the Elder, trying to burn it down. What a timed blast code from Same-Time, gets away from Xiaohao. In goes Beishwan. They're going out for Assume, but there's no damage behind him. ZDZ trying to hold Thunder Talk at the front line. Beishwan going to go down. Flashing forward is Angel. Next is Hoya. EDG found the fight they needed. Front to back is the way to go, and that should bring them to not only kills, not only aces, but a Game 1 win to find their first win of the LPL split.
EDG, massive performance right here, exactly when it counted, back and forth game, but they're going to pick themselves up that clean ace, and ZDZ, he shows up in a massive way for the team, both in that 1v1 on the Jace and now on this Cassante, completely unkillable. Every bit of damage that Thunder Talk had during that fight was poured into that Cassante. He didn't care, more than happy to absorb all of that as the carries die on the backline. EDG, oh, it looked like it was going to be a bit risky, but this game has restored so much faith in the way that this team plays.
What is going on with this Nexus turret? Okay, all right, so I didn't see a health bar. They weren't able to hit the Nexus, but they got there. And there it is, like you called out, Bloxer. What a response from Edward Gaming after the with this.
Not going to have any support. Is this a dive already?
We might have dives on both sides. The first one is going to be Thunder Talk.
It's
great
so
scene of
clean.
play. Interrupts ZDZ. Beautiful setup from Feather, and they're able to grab first blood. Response coming for Edward Gaming. Hoya, level 1, gets to level 2 over now, but they have the Elise's power with that repel. Gonna flash get the cocoon, is interrupted with the dash, but with the repel, with the trading of turret aggro, it will be traded back. Both top laners fall, but Thunder Talk to get first blood and get a hell of a lot more than that as they double up that kill count and keep 1xN up to grab the kill and all this farm for himself.
Kind of ignore each other and are more interested in the team fights elsewhere.
Can I interest you in a lane gank?
Oh, no,
Hoya, that was such a mistimed dash forward. Flash is immediately committed from Xiaohao, and he should find this kill. That's a timing moment for Hoya.
Oof. So right here, for Xiaohao to head straight on over towards this Ocean Drake. Going to be able to pick up a good amount of damage onto this one. Of course, Beishwan is in the area. Could potentially try to get a little bit of a steal going. Might be looking towards the mid lane instead, though.
Level 6 ultimates available for both of these mid laners. Angel confident taking some of these worst trades. The fact that Vladimir can just sustain himself back on up is both junglers and supports paying mind to the mid lane with the Grubs and Dragon both on the board here at the same time.
And it was just a disengage. Xiaohao decides actually not interested in trying to pick this one up, wanted to get involved in that mid lane play instead, and that's going to be a pretty big disadvantage right now because you're going to lose out onto these Grubs, don't get that standard last season trade of first Grubs for first Drake. They can still head on over and pick this one up, but it's just delaying things. It's delaying when you get the Drake on the board, it's delaying when you get that first little tick towards a feat of strength into your favor, and also giving over these 3 Grubs is going to be pretty impactful. Things like the Aurora is at least going to be able to push this wave underneath the tower, potentially open up an avenue to be able to roam down towards this dragon, help out the rest of the team. We're going to see Xiaohao once again head on towards this Ocean Drake, try to pick it up for the second time. Again, looks to be uncontested, but we'll have to see because Thunder Talk, they do like to get scrappy, and they will at least know that this Drake has been started out. There was a ward in the Dragon Pit.
Don't have Solar Flare available for Feather. Dragon is under about half HP. Wing trying to assuage Thunder Talk from walking their way up the river. They got to be careful, though, that they don't pincer themselves. But Beishuan is just looking for the engage onto Xiaohao himself. The slope between worlds and the true shot barrage to put a bow on it. And Thunder Talk just brute force their way through the setup, get a kill, and the first dragon. They are en route to an early set of upgraded boots.
Indeed.
I can say it with the stamp of OTP approval that Ezreal could be very dangerous in. Obviously, the Trinity Force pickup could be a big spike, as we do see Wink engaged on. Arcane Shift 4 for 1xN is actually going to force a respect Second flash. Turret full of plates to just amp up this gold lead. What does EDG look to do instead?
Fight.
To set a trap around this dragon and fight, like you said, Bloxer, but they don't have the numbers currently. They're not in position to force themselves down river, and they're just going to give up the dragon. Maybe they get a 1xN face check, and that is what they'll grab. And that's the biggest person to find that kill onto. The only one with a shutdown. 1xN drops. Crescent Guard out from Beichuan. Still having to run away, though, from Assume, who does drop the bullet time. It's just a couple shots too short. As we see both these mid laners drop their ultimates. Angel trying to see if he can out-sustain the Aurora damage. For the time being, that is a fat yes. And maybe now we'll finally see that die. But Setab sniffs it out. Can he get past Xiaohao? Get a flash kick back and use the minion wave expertly so no Sonic wave can come out. But we're just skirmishing on all fronts. CDZ, though, can't find the kill on Beichuan.
Coming out of this early game. Now they're just roaming around as a 3-man death squad trying to get fights. Bot lane, more action.
Setab does not have access. Oh, I didn't think. It just comes up between worlds. He still has to use it defensively. Does not have enough damage. The Shock Blast goes wide from ZDZ, though. That might have been the killing blow. Instead, he'll have to use that on the turret. Will finally knock down that bot in Tier 1. Who says tank Jace can't duel it out with some of those damage dealers?
No, I mean, the tank Jace, I mean, to be fair, once you've got yourself that Black Cleaver, you do still do a lot of damages. The base damage of Jace already high enough that you're not so worried about this one. We are going to get a teleport around to this Herald. Right now, Thundertalk looking to continue their monopoly on these objectives. Looks like, oh, hang on. Xiaohao
does not have the steal in the bag. Beichuan just going to walk on out with the eye. And EDG not content to fight any further.
Happen to you, at some point your Nexus just falls.
Breaking news, and Ornn is weak siding once again. Oya potentially going to get dove here, but Xiaohao watches Beichuan walk by him, who does force the fight. Ornn Horn from downtown. That's a ram that doesn't find a win, just like over the weekend. Chunked way below 50% HP. Does have the Bloodthirster to get himself a bit healthy. Beichuan eats a ton of fire breaths or Chemtech breaths from that Drake. Both teams still jockeying for this river position. Setab maybe looking for a pick here onto Wink. Does use the repel early to dodge potential engage from Feather. ZDZ trying to set up a castle wall of his own in that river, and both teams go right back to the good old mid-wave fight.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like there was a position there for EDG to engage. They had Thundertalk pincered between, but decided they weren't strong enough. Didn't want to go in onto that one, and it is going to be the Drake now started up right here by EDG. You do catch a moment where Beichuan is getting that red buff. Still, they can engage.
Getting chunked out, though, by this Jace. Hoya finds an engage on Angel, who does have the same move.
Flash forward
from Feather. They're going to try and lock up ZDZ. They burn through the health bar through the bullet time. True Shot Barrage comes across, and now 1xN can try and step up and do what he does best. Deal tons of damage, but he's losing his front line, quickly evaporating as he continues to fire Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot. 1xN is a one-man army as he knocks down a triple kill with ease with his loyal top laner beside him. Ace and a Dragon for Thunder Talk.
Thunder Talk continue to...
Blocked all of the bullet time from Assume. The one
It looked like it was
critical
gonna shred.
ability. Yeah, it should have shred. If it weren't for that ultimate that just blocked all of it. We'll see if Beichuan continues to try and block off these bullet times. As we see the Atakan started up here, Voracious as always.
Yeah.
Xiaohao looking for a way into this pit. Sonic Wave
can
not
this
going to
be
land, so he's
stolen?
going to try and dash through, but Atakan is already finished off. The revive buff is available for Thunder
boy.
Talk, and boy, does it scare the hell out of EDG. Another bullet time, Vanquish, 0 damage because Beichuan blocks it all himself. Thunder Talk are
Just going
rolling
to be
in.
able to pick this one up. That's what they at least are going to be looking forward. EDG.
Whoa. Beichuan
Just getting jumped
diving.
in their base.
Yeah. No punishment whatsoever.
No.
Just walks his way out. Grubby's getting some solid damage onto that inhibitor turret. This is the Thunder Talk. This is what the same
Get
confidence.
that Voracious buff off of all of these members of Thunder Talk. Then you can talk about actually killing them. For the minute, it looks like they're doing a little bit of poke.
Here we go again. It's Beichuan with the Crescent Guard up, steps up. That bullet time canceled by a solar flare.
Ornhorn.
Also
Dude,
cannot
oh.
use any of it, and the Ornhorn calls for the death of Xiaohao. Beichuan dashing in, still has his own revive, 1x over the wall, and here goes the Xin Zhao back to base. Even when you kill off their health bar, Thunder Talk won't even give you bounties, won't even give you 300 gold. They're just giving you hands over and over again. As 1x and company are going to hit onto this inhibitor turret. In goes Angel. They do lose the Voracious Atakan revive at the exact right moment, so EDG can grab some of these bounties. Arcane shift away from 1xN, trying to create some space, still firing out these Mystic shots. Gets flashed on by Angel.
He's
Big
gonna get
damage from
kills!
Satan combined with the Mystic shots of 1xN.
Ooh.
He will not fall, and nearly finds another with the True Shot Barrage, but man.
I was just waiting for the moment at which he decided to then arcane shift forward again and try go get more kills. Looks like the action does not stop though. There's going to be a bit of an engage right here. Thunder Talk might have bitten off a bit more than they can chew. They don't have a lot of their main carries, but EDG, they just don't have that actual engage and the CC really necessary. You've got slows aplenty on this team composition, but in terms of hard CC that you can apply from a distance, you have one champion and it's an Elise support.
This was the worry. The pairing with Misfortune. She needs a support like Leona to even get these bullet times off. I know they've been canceled constantly, but there isn't great setup for this Misfortune, and Assume is in such a tough spot. EDG as a whole are in a tough spot, down over 6k gold.
They can just
Their
Baron.
base broken open. They have to succeed.
Baron, you don't even necessarily have to start it up if you don't want to. You're just trying to draw EDG in because you win these team fights.
Hoya's up 5 levels over that Elise, by the way.
Wink.
Wink, Repel's already down. Flash committed, but
Yep.
following is Beichuan once more. Ornhorn going to go a bit wide, but Thunder Talk have established a base of operations in this red side jungle.
Absolutely, they have, and they can now pull on back towards this Baron if they want to, or just keep on pushing the advantage, right? The Baron helps, sure, you would like it, but it isn't even necessarily something they have to go on towards. They do decide they're going to pick up the Baron, and I like this response out of EDG. They're going to teleport down towards the bottom side and get a good amount of damage onto this tier 2 tower bot lane. In fact, they're going to be able to pick up the full tier 2 tower bot and a tier 1 tower mid lane. It's the correct response out of EDG, but they are still losing yet another neutral objective. Baron goes over, because it's not like Thunder Talk have medium amounts of engage. They have a ton of engage overall, and right now you can see it. EDG, they're trying to poke out, they're trying to find a way into this game, but I just don't know when they're going to go. They have to pull the trigger at some point.
Solar Flare going to be dodged by a good Sanguine Pool by Angel, so key CC ultimate, like you were talking about, blocks are down for the time being, but it does cost them another inhibitor and inhibitor turret, with the last one remaining in that mid lane. Zetab playing around the range of that cocoon, not going to land. There's the Between Worlds with the Ornhorn combination. Is going to knock up and cut down ZDZ. Zetab goes into the stasis. Angel tries to run to the backline. This time a bullet time will find its mark onto Feather. Assume picks up 1 kill, but it's just too late and too big of a difference between Thunder Talk's wallet and EDG's by this point. Zoom and Xiaohao, the only ones left up, but Beichuan wants to go for the killer blow and pack the kills in for 1xN as he's back to carry performances as expected, and Thunder Talk are back on even footing. 1-1 we go between this Group C heavyweight fight.
And these two teams, they've gone back and forth, and what different games they have been. EDG's victory was hard fought, a roller coaster of emotions back and forth the entire time. Thundertalk, they swapped lanes at the beginning of that game, and they did something a little bit more supportive that can really help it with this one, right? Does ZDZ have a better time in this one? Ooh.
Oh, Beichuan. Luckily, Hoya shows up here because I thought they'd just dive in. Wink still wants to go in with Assume. They get the Ignite and on top of Beichuan, and he flashes immediately respect. So the clear already disastrously started for the Thundertalk jungler.
Yeah, exactly what you don't want to end up.
Track when both these mid laners utilize their stronger points individually in this matchup. But left to track that as it goes on is right now attention gravitates towards the Grubs. Xiaohao secures the first one, so he won't get a monster slaying goal if Beichuan is able to steal one back away. There's the equalizer, lands on both 1xN and Feather. ZDZ forces both of them to flash, but they've got the Soul Laners following them with the Realm Warp. 1xN is cornered. First blood over to Angel. Beichuan jumps in, but a little far too late and gives Xiaohao a reset.
Wow.
EDG clean up house at the Grub fight.
Yeah, like you said, nobody's going to pick up that feat of strength. Really, really nice day so far for EDG's top laner. We'll see if he's able to continue this one on. We have got the jungler in the area right here for Thundertalk. They're not going to end up nowhere with the Arctic Assault. Managed to land that one potentially. We'll have to see if they decide to go for a fight. But right now, eyes set right here onto this Drake. And there is some follow-up right now. EDG are on their way over.
Realm Warp not available for Angel just yet. Xiaohao, does he have a way over the wall? They're just going to use that Glacial Prison to lock down Wing. Featherstorm out of Assume, but it's Setab to chase him down with the perfect execution on the backside. Xiaohao does steal away the Cloud Drake. So one back for EDG, but it's going to cost them a pair of kills. Gold for the Feats of Strength chase ends up being the trade.
Exactly. I like that play right there out of the Jinx, the Ambessa. These champions are supported so well by the rest of the composition. I really like what it is that Thundertalk have picked up for themselves as we once again watch these mid laners go at it. A lot of damage being chunked down and a lot of pings coming through from EDG onto this bot lane right here. They're potentially looking to grab a kill onto Setab, and they could even go for the dive right here. Akali obviously slippery, but...
Oh, Setab wants to go in and at least try and find a trade here, but gets stun locked by Angel. The perfect execution nearly finds the kill, but a well-timed Magnet Storm finds that kill for EDG. On the flip side, ZDZ gets caught himself by Beichuan. Another well-timed Glacial Prison locks up ZDZ to a gray screen. Is going to grab them 3 Grubs as well off the back end.
And that is at least another feat of strength going over so that Thundertalk don't have to worry so much about that objectives ones going against them. Bot lane though, they are going to lose out onto this tower. It's going to be another feat of strength. That's 2. That is going to be everything that EDG wanted out of this early game. And the fact that you don't get
Who really can be the better team fighter on the day. But for now, all we're going to get is dives onto Hoya, who's been relatively quiet in this one. Has all summoners, has the ultimate available. He's going to run away from the turn back with the public execution onto Xiaohao, but that wasn't enough to find the trade kill. There's more than enough damage for the EDG top side, and they find themselves a kill.
It's going to be interesting to watch so far. TP coming in. Oh, they're going to go for a big play here. Wow.
Here's the Setab Akali, but getting a kill put on a silver platter here by Hoya. Xiaohao is far too low. You can flash all you want, buddy, but Akali will follow you from the shroud. Shut down over to Setab, and Hoya gets his revenge onto ZDZ. Great use of the summoner teleport from Thundertalk to grab a pair of kills.
Yeah, I love the way that play works, and you bring the Lulu along with you so that Hoya is under no risk of dying. The wild growth is huge. He's gonna get jumped right here. He doesn't get over the wall.
Beichuan cancels with the Arctic Pursuit and gifts
up onto this Drake. Beichuan onto this Infernal Drake already. It's going to be taken out nice and quickly. And that is going to be a very good look for Thundertalk during this game, which makes it almost impossible to win into that individual team fight. So I think both of these teams are going to have to put a lot of focus around trying to pick that one up.
Oh, here we go. Another top lane river fight. ZDZ chops down on the Glacial Prison, does flash away, holds onto his ultimate. So one engage tool out of the cards for Thundertalk, but it does grant them control of this top river. Good old Shelly looking to scrap herself, stepping up, but will reset with a full HP bar, and Thundertalk turn their attention back towards that middle wave. Edward Gaming maybe looking for an angle to step up themselves. Now they've got a bit more control, going to lock down on the Beichuan. But he is the tankiest member, and they're allowing 1xN to fire through the rockets. Where his Satab, we see him teleport in and set up another deadly flank. One fell flat in game number 1 in that critical dragon fight, but this time he has the damage, he has the setup to pop off like we've seen him pop off so many times. Demacia Cup, LPL starting split. Does Satab have another Akali moment in him? It's Hoya to start out with the public execution, and Wink gets his health bar deleted, and the Rocket with the Shuriken gets the kill and the Rift Herald. EDG, they don't even get a chance to try and fight back here, but they might get one themselves if Thunder Talk want to keep pushing the tempo. Maybe a bit of an aggressive locket use there from Feather.
In a good spot to win it out.
Dragons are even. This is going to be the first Hextech soul we get. Hoya gets poked out pretty well by Angel and Assume.
TP.
So shouldn't be able to really find his way back to this fight. Does have his own teleport to come back in, just like Satab is using, but EDG have a window to just burn through this dragon. Doesn't have a ton of HP. It is just the third Drake of the game, and it will be secured there by Xiaohao, but they saw the Hex Gate over top of their head. Beichuan's trying to force the fight in the front end, and 1xN has the rockets firing. Kites back well away from the equalizer, and Satab has Angel cornered. They cannot find a way out. EDG crumple. It's like shooting fish in a barrel for 1xN. His Jinx pick proves pivotal once more.
1xN, another EDG. They had to go and try to play around that objective. I don't necessarily disagree with trying to pick up that Hextech Drake, but Thunder Talk, they knew they had the advantage, didn't even try for the steal, waited to get everybody into position and just flew on forwards. In fact, they're not even going to take this Atakan buff, and I actually really agree with this one. You want to draw EDG into as many team fights as possible. That's where you're at your strongest, and that is just XN, and the Jinx really is so fun. We were hyping it up for a reason, right? This pick for this player is so huge, and this is what Thunder Talk wanted. Yeah, they want the fight. They want you to have to walk into them. And EDG, they better execute this one perfectly. That's not a good start.
Oh, Angel does hold Satab in place, but they just lose ZDZ to the might of Thunder Talk's damage. And 1xN is at it again. Nobody touching the Jinx. So it's time to watch your team burn, crumple, and fall by the wayside. It's rinse and repeat for Thunder Talk. Another fight, another win, another ace.
There we go. That's why you leave the Atakan buff up and available, because it draws the members of EDG in. They feel like they have to fight for this one. The buff is just too strong to not contest, but Thunder Talk are far too strong to really be worried in these fights.
Atakan got hands.
Atakan got more hands than EDG at the moment. Like, this is closer than the previous fight felt. Die? No, he doesn't die, but geez, is it close. That's going to be
upward engage. Wink is always ulting defensively. It's defensive Featherstorms. We haven't seen a good equalizer since the first one from CDZ. And it doesn't seem like anything's going to change here, as once again, Beichuan finds another beautiful pick. The Rocket doesn't get the kill, but at least sets up Satab to annihilate another victim. This time it's Xiaohao, hits the stasis, sets up his solo laner buddy, Hoya, who dives under the tier 3 turret. But who really cares? He's back to base. Thanks, Ruinous Atakan, and it's another inhibitor turret on the back end. Equalizer comes down from ZDZ. Will not find another one of those revives taken away. Instead, it's the first inhibitor of the game taken away by Thunder Talk.
And they could just keep on stepping up, despite the fact that they are pretty low right now. It looks like Thunder Talk, they want to go in.
He's melting health bars, and he claims another one, gets the revive. That's not the same for Assume. He has to go to the gray screen. The power of Voracious Atakan on full display through Thunder Talk, as they're going to keep forcing their issue, pushing their will onto EDG. Maybe now they finally feel a little bit too big for their britches, but not Satab. He wants the fast way back to base. There you go. So does Beichuan. Look at them sacrificing themselves because they know the Atakan buff gives them a quicker reset. Now it's Feather's turn. He says, sure, take me down. Somebody please put me out of my misery. But EDG, they're waiting out the buff. How long can they wait? I don't know how long it's supposed to last by this point, but Feather is maybe questioning his decision. He does finally drop without the Atakan, so EDG waited it out.
Oh my lord, I mean, see if they want to join up for another team fight. I wonder if EDG are just going to try start this because they've seen the resets come through, but it is still going to be a Hextech snap, so you've got the quicker reset.
EDG, they're really burning through it, though. They have the damage.
Steal.
But
Bechuan.
do we see a Bechuan steal? Already has one MVP under his
They
belt.
got it!
It's the
Oh!
rocket from 1xN. What can't this man do on the Jinx? And now EDG are vanquished. Another ace, third time's the charm. Thunder Talk are undefeated after dropping game 1. And they'll go up 2-1 in a series once more, just like their matchup against LNG.
God damn! Thunder Talk, they are gorgeous to watch when they are feeling themselves on these team fights, and this game no different. I don't know that people can be giving 1xN this Jinx anymore, but everybody on Thunder Talk popped off in this game, and taking us to match point has never looked so good.
It's a recipe that continues to bear one hell of a feast for Thunder Talk.
This is absolutely insane. This is fearless. This champion was all about the early game. You saw it picked, and it felt a lot like a Darius, where you were just expecting it, hopefully, to get many kills as you could in the early stages. Oh my god, is that a solo? Oh, it is!
Oh! Champion mastery. You give this guy a melee champion.
Last season. That is so incredible, and Setup has had a great series so far. That being said, stepping quite far forwards here. Yeah, just walks it away. Still putting you in a much better spot than your opponent. Now, it seems like we are ready for our regularly scheduled skirmish around some grubs.
Thunder Talk, though, I think it's wise. Now, Setup just buys this team so much space because they came into this early game with a Scion lane, a Ziggs lane. Like, they were looking to outlast and hopefully not surrender too much. But now Setup grabbing first blood, not only for the gold, but that bounty towards feats of strength.
That feat of strength. And so, more than happy with the way that this early game is playing out so far. Every single second that we get to calmly talk about these compositions and these players is...
They are online for feats of strength as long as they just give more space to 1xN to likely knock down the first third of the game. But we have top laners trading ultimate. ZDZ pops the dominance. Junglers want their own 1v1 skirmishes. Bechuan drops the
flash. He does!
Xiaohao has to flash away from Feather's flash dredge line. Everybody's going to walk out a little bit wary, missing some summoners, but no kills, not even in the top lane.
I love that I could just see Feather walking up, and I can... Oh, wait.
The root.
Oh, no.
Bechuan, great fate sealed. Assume just saved his support from
this set, because not getting any grubs when you've got a Ziggs comp, it feels a little bit bad, but I think more than that, it would really help out EDG to be able to actually take these towers at anywhere near a comparable rate. Oh, hang on. Whoa.
They get the knock-up on the satchel into the last breath.
Dead.
Thunder Talk are continuing to impress with their confidence and their combos. Tell me the last time you saw that Ziggs set up for a Yasuo ultimate.
Yeah, exactly, and this is what we were talking about. They have set up on every single champion, and it's going to be huge, the last breath. The amount that you can do with this ulti when you've got as much setup as this composition does for Thunder Talk is just so very fun. And that is the way to get yourself right here for Thunder Talk in this game number 4.
Almost.
Angel, I mean...
They're one short. Angel, you cannot lose this 1v1 to Hoya, right? He's got
like
the
they
slow.
do.
Hoya's flashing for it. All right, we're getting tricky with these distorts. Try and get around the Scion. On the flip side, ZDZ is getting 1v4 dove here. The dominance buys him some time, but not enough time. And it does seem like Angel escaped
with the Skarner, just tanky and shredding. Setup, we've complimented him a lot, but this is an awkward position to be in.
Yeah, this is a guaranteed kill here. Setup should fall. Question is, where do they want the gold to go? They do give it to Xiaohao's Kazik.
So that is a good spot for Xiaohao to be in, but yeah, we're going to need to see more from this Kha'Zix to really justify the pick.
And there goes feats of strength for Thunder Talk game. They will be 2-0 in Group C with a 6-1 scoreline, holding the tiebreakers over both LNG and EDG. But EDG are trying to make a stop to a 1xN. Well-timed flash gets them out of the Pop Blossom. We talked about how the Ziggs is just so hard to lock down, and you got to see it finally on the Rift.
Really great reaction times right there. Best in that regard. And now, because you've learned all of your engage tools in that attempted play, you see the push forwards right here onto the tower, and you are just going to lose it potentially.
Whoa! Flying in is Angel. Thought he had just enough damage, but 1xN limps away. ZZ teleporting on the backside with the Dominus pop. They're going to have to leave Hoya for Doom. So Thunder Talk pushed their limits a little bit too much there, trying to play for the mid-1 turret.
Oh, but he gets the ward, so it's worth, right?
I think mathematically wouldn't totally lock them, but would give them the resume.
It would be a wild set of games for that not to happen. Oh,
just
instant!
Get
He's
off,
instant!
But once again, he uses the satchel charge to set up. Oh, strangle or the snare comes across from Wink to at least get the trade, but it's once again Setab getting set up by his AD carry counterpart. Dredgelight gonna land, is gonna lock down the LeBlanc. Do they have the CC? Knockups, kills, and Hoya gets his revenge onto Angel. And there's no way for EDG to contest this Rift Herald now. Thunder Talk are just too damn good in these last couple of games.
Oh, 1xN does lose his life, but again, it's possible.
Oh, they're going for
Speaking
Wink again.
of,
Fate's call, but Assume got held up by Hoya, the Inferno Bomb. Not enough for now to knock down
on these Drakes. Usually you want the uncontested, not now. This is an interesting engage right here out of EDG.
Xiaohao, I mean, he just doesn't find a way in. They're trying to buy time for Angel on this flank. 1xN should fall. He's more than low enough, but Angel can't find a way in. And there's the last breath once more off the satchel charge from 1xN. Gets CDZ vanquished, and now they can grab themselves a very, very early soul point on the Cloud Drake.
It's so juicy when you don't go get the Drake initially when it would be free, and your opponents know you haven't reset. And they know that you've got some low health bars from the previous team fight, and they can teleport in the top lane. There it goes.
Get it? There we go. Mid tier 2 down. Wink is disguised as Callista W to get the Pop Blossom. That's a new one I haven't seen.
It works!
Then gets eviscerated by Xiaohao. Beichuan goes into the stasis as Hoya and Feather on the front side. Setab is here, but is he too late to this fight here? Doesn't get enough damage down. Does get the last breath, but it's on to ZDZ. Beichuan goes down. EDG have a life. It's an ace in the most climactic moment.
That's exactly what did we say? What did we say? Wink on this Nico needed to find the Pop Blossom of Dreams, was disguised as a minion, got into the backline, and splits the front line away from the backline long enough that we get to see this Xiaohao pickup of the Kha'Zix pay itself back off. You get the kill onto 1xN, and
on these champions, it looks like another basically 45 seconds. You can see
the
agency that EDG play with on that buff. They're diving between turrets to make sure 1xN doesn't get a chance to even interact. Good pick found once more. How much can EDG get off the back of it?
Looks like they're going to be able to go and pick themselves up a top lane tier 2 as well. And this is a very risky situation. Hoya is obviously very tanky, but still face checking into the darkness right now. There they go!
There's another clutch Wink Pop Blossom. Down goes Beichuan, and next should be Hoya. And keep in mind, all these trade kills, they're not kills. They're just fake revives.
Nice set of plays right there. I mean, Hoya stepping up into the darkness wasn't necessarily... what
it's
a
the
catch.
satchel charge again onto Assume this time. You thought it was going to be the Nautilus setups, maybe the Zyra knockups, Sion knockups. Nah. Welcome to Satchel Last Breath combos from Thunder Talk.
Yeah, that's the knockup that people think of when they think of Yasuo combos, right? And this could be a walk down. Wink now potentially caught out of position, trying to buy time for Xiaohao to be able to pick up this Drake.
He gets CC locked and punched in the mouth by Hoya's Sion. The Drake is being taken in the background, but I don't think Xiaohao can run it down in time. No. Xiaohao just leashed Cloud Soul to Thunder Talk.
And this is...
For EDG, they had a ward on the enemy red buff. Now,
yep,
this entire river completely dark.
Yeah, they are walking into an incredibly scary situation, and this is the joys of the Zyra. You can start it up relatively easily. EDG, though, they are going to contest.
1xN here, teleports in for both top laners. This could be the split decided for EDG. If Thunder Talk have anything to say about it, CDZ flies in, Pop Blossom to 4! 1xN is down! How much more can EDG get on the backside? Beichuan's gonna flash himself out. Feather and Setab kite back safely. Hoya in the middle of everybody. The last breath onto 3 from Setab in the background. He has Assumed in sight, and Setab does it again! Pop Blossom be damned! EDG be damned! Thunder Talk team fight their way to a win once more!
And this is what we wanted from this game. The Pop Blossoms are huge. They managed to land onto so many members, does Wink. But in the back, I mean, people were blinking. The health pulse was so low.
But now they get to teleport in. 1xN, Beichuan, the plants, Setab's damage. They're just going to rush this thing down. Angel can't TP in. ZDZ can't TP in. There's nobody here but Xiaohao to watch as the Baron crumbles. It has to be a hero steal. That's the only option, but Xiaohao's not even going to get a look at this Baron. Purple banner onto 5 for Thunder Talk.
And if that was the best possible team fight angle that EDG were going to find for themselves, and the outcome was that they lost almost all of their kills and a Baron, yeah, this game might be a little bit over.
They're really selling this mid lane to try and cover for the Elder spawning soon here. We're getting such an early Elder because all 4 opening Drakes went over to Thundertalk, but they don't relent. They push all the way down mid. They get the inhibitor down, and Feather's hunting for Angels. Use that depth charge time and time again to pick off this LeBlanc. And the Inferno Bomb, one more auto will get it. Feather sets him up, and Satab and 1xN knock him down. It's been the tried and true recipe this entire series for Thundertalk. And now they're looking for the killing blow. Hoya spots out Assume way too far up. Both engaged champions are flying in. How many hops he got, Assume? Because you're gonna drop. Second kill through, and Nexus turrets are exposed. Thundertalk are going for the killing blow.
They've got a Ziggs. They can go for this. The Baron-empowered minions pour in. They've only got the mid-wave to work with, though. Xiaohao's trying to go for a flank.
ZDZ goes in with the dominance there, goes down the Strangle Thorns, he gets knocked up once more, Pop Blossom through for Wink, but there's not enough damage in the chamber. They're all out of gas, EDG fall, ace to Thundertalk. They talk the talk in the Demacia Cup, but they wrecked themselves into the playoffs with a lightning bolt of destiny. Thundertalk 2-0 Group C, we'll see you in playoffs.
Oh, what a victory. That is 3-1 is the comfort zone right here for Thundertalk game.